So far, we saw the X gate, Y gate, and Z gate. We also saw the Hadamard gate, phase gate, and pi by 8 gate. We call the T gate as pi by 8 gate since it can be written as T equal to exponential of I pi by 8 into exponential of minus I pi by 8 0 0 exponential of I pi by 8. Now let's see three useful classes of unitary matrices which we get by exponentiating the polymatrices. They are called as the rotational operators about the x, y and z axis defined by the equation r x theta equal to e raised to minus I theta x by 2, which is equal to cos theta by 2 into I minus I sin theta by 2 into x, which can be written as cos theta minus I sin theta by 2, I sin theta by 2 and cos theta by 2 matrix. Similarly, we have the rotational operators along the y and z axis given by ry theta equal to e raised to minus I theta y by 2, which is equal to cos theta by 2 I minus I sin theta by 2 y, and given by this matrix, and rz theta equal to e raised to minus I theta z by 2 equal to cos theta by 2 I minus I sin theta by 2 z, which is given by this matrix. We can also write the general expression for n cap unit vector in the n axis given by nx, ny, nz such that r n cap theta would be equal to exponential of minus I theta n cap dot sigma by 2, which is equal to cos theta by 2 I minus I sin theta by 2 into nx x plus ny y plus nz z, where x y z are our polymatrices. Here sigma is equal to x cap plus y cap plus z cap. We can check why e raised to minus I theta x by 2 is equal to cos theta by 2 I minus I sin theta by 2x, from which we can similarly prove for y and z. So we know e raised to minus x is equal to 1 minus x plus x square by 2 factorial minus x cube by 3 factorial plus x raised to 4 by 4 factorial and so on. Therefore, e raised to minus I theta x by 2 would be equal to 1 minus I theta x by 2 plus I theta x by 2 square by 2 factorial minus I theta x by 2 cube by 3 factorial plus I theta x by 2 4 by 4 factorial and so on. We can also check that x, which is equal to 0 1 1 0, has x square equal to 1, which implies for all the even powers of x, that is x raised to 2n, we will get I, that is our identity operator. And we can check that x cube is equal to x, which implies for all the odd powers of x, we have the value x, that is x raised to 2n minus 1 will be equal to x. Therefore, e raised to minus I theta x by 2 would be equal to 1 minus I theta by 2 x, taking out would be x, plus I theta by 2 x square would be I divided by 2 factorial minus I theta by 2 cube, here square, divided by 3 factorial, and x cube would be x. Similarly, plus I theta by 2 4 divided by 4 factorial, and x raised to 4 would be again I, and this goes on. So now we can segregate the two parts, which would be equal to 1 minus theta by 2 factorial into I. Since I square would be minus 1, so there would be a minus sign, plus theta by 2 raised to 4 by 4 factorial into I, and I raised to 4 would be again plus 1, so there will be a plus sign. This will go on for all the even powers, minus I times we have theta by 2 upon, we can say, 1 factorial into x minus theta by 2 cube by 3 factorial into x, plus it goes on. So we know these all terms would be equal to cos theta by 2 into I, and these all terms would be equal to minus I sin theta by 2 into x. Therefore, e raised to minus I theta x by 2 would be equal to cos theta by 2 I minus I sin theta by 2 x. Similarly, we can check for e raised to minus I theta y by 2 and e raised to minus I theta z by 2. Now let's see the decomposition for a single qubit in terms of rotation operators z and y. Suppose u is a unitary operation on a single qubit, then there exists alpha, beta, gamma and delta, which are all real numbers, such that u can be written as u equal to e raised to I alpha into rotation operator along z axis for the angle beta, rotation operator along y axis for the angle gamma, and rotation operator along z axis for the angle delta. So let's check the proof of it. Since u is a unitary operator, the rows and columns of u are orthonormal, from which it follows that u can be written as u equal to this matrix. In order to see why we can write u in terms of this matrix, let us consider u equal to a, b, c, d, where a, b, c, d are four complex numbers, which can also be written as v1 ket, v2 ket, where v1 and v2 are our column vector, such that v1 will be equal to ac and v2 would be equal to bd. From this, we can see that since u is unitary, u dagger u would be equal to I. Therefore, a star, c star, b star, d star into a, b, c, d will be equal to I, that is 1 0 0 1. So multiplying this, we'll get a star into a would be equal to a square, c star into c will be equal to c square, and similarly a star b plus c star d into a b star plus c d star and b square plus d square equal to 1 0 0 1. Now comparing this, we'll get a square plus c square equal to 1 and b square plus d square equal to 1. Now we know v1 inner product would be equal to a star c star into ac, which is equal to a square plus c square, and a square plus c square is 1. Therefore, v1 inner product is equal to 1. Similarly, we can check that v2 inner product is also equal to 1, and v1 v2, which is equal to a star c star into bd, which is equal to a star b plus c star d, will be equal to 0, as you can check from this equation, which implies v1 v2 will be equal to 0. That means v1 and v2 are orthonormal. And since a square plus c square is equal to 1 and b square plus d square is equal to 1, we can say that v1 and v2 are normalized. That is, v1 mod equal to v2 mod is equal to 1, which implies v1 mod, which is equal to root under a square plus c square, is equal to 1. Therefore, we can write mod of a is equal to cos gamma by 2 and mod of c as sin gamma by 2. Since cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1, this satisfies this condition. And from the fact that a star b plus b c star d is equal to 0, we can say that b is equal to minus of c star and d is equal to a star, which also implies that magnitude of b would be equal to magnitude of c and magnitude of d would be equal to magnitude of a, which would be equal to sin gamma by 2 and cos gamma by 2. And since all abcds are complex number, we can define the argument of a, which is a angle made by the line of A from the origin with the real axis x, equal to minus beta by 2 minus delta by 2, and similarly argument of C equal to beta by 2 minus delta by 2, where beta and delta are real. And finally, to generalize our unitary operator, we can multiply u by a complex phase e raised to I alpha, where alpha is real, to preserve the unitarity of u, which implies we can write u as u equal to e raised to I alpha a b c d. Now we know that we can write a complex number z equal to magnitude of z into e raised to I theta, where theta is the argument of z. Therefore, we can write a equal to magnitude of a into e raised to I in theta, where theta is the argument of a, and we know argument of a is minus beta by 2 minus delta by 2. So a would be e raised to I minus beta by 2 minus delta by 2, which is equal to a e raised to I minus beta by 2 minus delta by 2 into magnitude of a was cos gamma by 2. Similarly, we can write c is equal to magnitude of c into e raised to I argument of c, which was beta by 2 minus delta by 2. So c would be e raised to I beta by 2 minus delta by 2 into magnitude of c, which is sin gamma by 2. Same thing we can write for c and d. So finally, we can write u equal to e raised to I alpha into a, which is e raised to I minus beta by 2 minus delta by 2 into cos gamma by 2, and b, which is negative of c star, would be equal to minus of e raised to I. Since it is negative of c star, there will be minus beta by 2 and plus delta by 2 into sin gamma by 2. Similarly, c would be e raised to I beta by 2 minus delta by 2 into sin gamma by 2, and d is a star. So a is this, so d would be e raised to I, this minus would be plus, so it would be beta by 2 plus delta by 2 into cos gamma by 2. And finally, after multiplying e raised to I alpha inside, we get u equal to e raised to I alpha minus beta by 2 minus delta by 2 into cos gamma by 2 minus e raised to I alpha minus beta by 2 plus delta by 2 into sin gamma by 2 and e raised to I alpha plus beta by 2 minus delta by 2 sin gamma by 2 and finally e raised to I alpha plus beta by 2 plus delta by 2 into cos gamma by 2 as claimed here. So now based on this matrix we have to check whether u is equal to this decomposition. So we already proved that u is equal to this matrix. Now we have to check that u, which is equal to e raised to I alpha rz of beta into ry of gamma into rz of delta is true or not. So RHS, which is equal to e raised to I alpha and RZ of beta would be e raised to minus I beta by 2 0 0 e raised to I beta by 2 into ry of gamma would be cos gamma by 2 minus sin gamma by 2 into sin gamma by 2 into cos gamma by 2 and rz of delta would be e raised to minus I delta by 2 into 0 0 e raised to I delta by 2. Now let's multiply these three matrices and try to get u. So it would be equal to e raised to I alpha. Multiplying the first and second matrix, we'll get e raised to minus I beta by 2 cos gamma by 2 minus e raised to minus I beta by 2 sin gamma by 2 e raised to I beta by 2 sin gamma by 2 and e raised to I beta by 2 cos gamma by 2 into this matrix. Now multiplying these two matrices, we get this result, and by multiplying e raised to I alpha inside it, we will arrive at this expression for u. So we can say that our RHS is equal to u, which is our LHS, and hence therefore we can say that u is equal to the decomposition of e raised to I alpha rz of beta ry of gamma and rz of delta. We can also decompose u as a xy decomposition just by replacing rz with rx. So I hope you understood the decomposition of a single qubit represented by a unitary matrix u